Okay, we have two more examples. These are called our or examples. So let's have you write down the top part right here, and then also the part that's in orange. So it says using the word or to join inequalities is called a union. And then this symbol, I'll draw a line here. So the symbol for union, that U right there. What do you think? Ethan, what's 13 minus 7? Good. All right, then Austin, to solve for m now, what's the last thing we do?
Divide by -2.
Good. And what happens when you divide by negative again, Hector?
It flips the sign.
Good. Flip the sign.
We're visiting Chris Peterson's math classroom at Oltman Middle School, where he has implemented a flipped classroom model. So can you tell us a little bit about what that looks like for your students?
Okay, so with the flipped classroom, the nice thing about it, the big thing is that you really can individualize it for each student. So if there's someone who has a question, they can pause the lesson, raise their hand, and then I can come around and answer that question as to what it was they had a problem with or were struggling with. So they really can, just work on understanding it for them individually. Whereas before with a regular format where you're teaching all up front, you might have to stop the whole lesson for just a couple of students. So this way it really works on helping each student out individually.
Great. So what does a typical day look like? They watch the lesson ahead of time the day before, and then you work on problems. Can you kind of walk through that?
With that, I start off doing where they're watching the lesson at home, and then they come to school, and then they do the homework in class. But then what was starting to happen is that I saw a lot of my students, maybe it wasn't getting completed at home, so it'd be different levels, or there actually were some students where they didn't have access to complete it at home. So then we just started doing everything in class, where they would go through, watch the lesson in class, take notes, and then they start their homework. If they get done in class, then they can work on the next lesson, read a book, working on their homework. Or if they don't get done in class, then they can go home, finish up, and then bring it to class tomorrow, and then we'll grade it then.
Got it.
Yeah.
So what do you think the biggest benefit has been with this learning model, or what impact do you see it having on your students?
The biggest benefit is that I'm just able to go through and really work one-on-one with more students instead of, maybe having 15 to 20 minutes of work time where I might get to a couple or a group of students. I can really go through and touch base with each student, at least once, hopefully once throughout the whole day. So that's just really nice to really connect with the students more.
Wonderful. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think that's it. Thank you for coming in and checking out the classroom.
Well, thank you for having us. This is Natalie, another 8th grader who's in a flipped math classroom. And Natalie, how do you think the flipped model is going for you?
I think it's a good learning experience because you can learn at a fast pace because sometimes he might go too slow if other people think, but if you think he's going too slow, then you can just skip ahead or you can slow down and pause it.
That's great. And what do you think about the iPad as a learning tool? Does that help you as a student?
Yeah, it helps me organize more of my notes and all of my other apps I could use, like iCalendar and my homework app.
Sounds good. And how about learning through video? Do you find that more interesting, or is it just a good complement to what you learn in your textbook?
I think it's more interesting because it's a different learning experience and it's really easy too.
Great. So would you say you enjoy Mr. Peterson's class?
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Thank you. It's great to see how just a couple months into the school year, these students are seeing their learning transformed through technology. Thank you so much, and tune in next time to Channel 15.